Hi everyone, it's Nubian Sun, Ra, back to kick it with y'all, kick some of this truth. Today I decided, to take my time because I just really want you all to process this video without having to go back and go over what was said, because sometimes I feel like I talk fast. So I just decided to slow it down a little bit for this video because I really want to be understood and understood, whatever. And so for this video, I'm going to be moving kind of slow in speech just so you all can actually follow me or translate, process. I said process what I'm saying, And when I say follow me, that's a perspective, Don't take it personally, because I know some people take that personally, like, I don't follow anyone. That's fine. Nobody's saying that is the perspective, and I just use that just for wordplay terminologies purposes. That's it. That's all. But yeah, today I want to speak on the media and the influence that the media have, when it comes to our thinking, And, I spoke in one of my other videos about the chakras, right? So with the media, there's this thing, what they say is it's the television is the tell-lie vision. It tells lies to your vision, right? So it's like working on your chakras. And I know I said that, working on one chakra, you can be working on other chakras as well, like killing two birds with one stone saying, but it's more than two chakras even sometimes, So with the television, right, it's working on the crown chakra up here in the top of your head, and the third eye chakra, right here, And the crown chakra is the chakra of thoughts, and it's also the bridge of connection for us to the higher ups, the most highest frequency, And the third eye is insight, being able to see what's in front of you, ahead of you, having spiritual senses, being a seer, and is blocked by illusion, So it's like at the end of the day, whenever we are watching the television, if you are not awoke enough to be able to decode exactly what is being presented to you, you will look at everything and be like, okay, well, this is telling a lie, that's telling a lie, everything's a lie on a television, and you won't use any of the information, pick it apart. So it's you avoid all of that whenever you get to that level of wokeness to where you feel like it's a tell-lie vision because of the chakra situation. And that stage is necessary. You know, there are people that will look at you and be like, well, you know, this ain't quite right because I experienced this, X, Y, and Z. Just know every level is significant within its own. At that time, you're learning that they do tell lies through the television. And they do mess with your chakras, and they'll throw illusions, and then you have to discern and all that stuff. But that's within your own comfortability of growth. You know, that's within your own comfortability of growth, your own level, you know. But it's like they will message your chakras in a way, it's like they just will do a lot of subliminal messages. And then the frequency that those messages are on and the frequency that the TV gives out on its own to even be on, you know, is opening up something, you know. And then whatever we see through the television is what and how we process it as well is what we're going to get from the experience of watching television, you know. And so with that being said, it's a select few, like a group of people, a collective of people doing this. So it's only, the television is only producing certain type of media. And it's pretty much whatever they want to put out there. You know, we don't have the say so in that unless it goes through somebody to where they're like, okay, we'll put it on, you know, and they'll tell you how long it can be on or if it can be on at all, you know. And there's always things they'll let slip by because they do understand that, you know, people are putting some things together, but it's only so far it'll actually go. So that's how we know that it's being manipulated, you know. And then like with the news, it's like they choose exactly what they're going to push in the media. It's just like the newspaper. You know, not everybody makes the newspaper, you know. There's things that happen that's not even ever reported, you know. Things like that. That's just something to think about, you know. But what I'm saying is, whenever they are making media, they have to focus on a chakra. And the base chakra, like the root chakra, is the survival chakra. And it is blocked by fears. And, you know, the news just put out a whole lot of fears. You know, they put out fears in the commercial subliminally. And it's like we won't never know that our bodies are going through these changes. Like, it's, have you ever, like, watched TV and it's, like, triggering your anxiety and depression and stuff that people love to non-clinically, you know, diagnose themselves with? Because it's like, they don't always diagnose people. You know, you have to go through the system to be even diagnosed, but we know what it is, right? So, you ever watch TV and it's like you're watching something and it's like it just triggers it? It's like that is a frequency of fear, anxieties and depressions and stuff, what we call it. So whenever we experience those feelings, whenever we're watching TV, it's like closing or manipulating the energy of a chakra. You know, like, and when they do that, let me tell you, this is a tactic that they use, a form of magic, to be able to open us up to certain mind frames and spaces of emotion. They could put you wherever they want to put you, depending on what they put on TV. So that's a population control. Think about it. One night we went to sleep, and we woke up to a viral videos of George Floyd being murdered. You know, and it's crazy because then after that they made conspiracies of saying that he's still alive. They did that with just about everybody they tried to cover up that they actually killed. It's like it's something that you have to really think about, and think about it with your mind open and not your eyes. You know, like people that are blind, you know, they have to still navigate, and they have their eyes not accessible, so they have to use their other senses, and their other senses get stronger. You know, it's like closing your eyes to the 3D world, because you know not everything is what it seems to be. And so when you do that, then you have to use your other senses. And so you get to feel out everything else in a different way. You know, that's a perspective. But it's just the fact that they actually think that, you know, they could get away with like manipulating people's chakras and things, and there's not going to be a conspiracy about, you know, how it was staged and stuff. But that is exactly like how it's staged. You know, they staged it because they knew that they were going to put it on the media. They knew what they were expecting the results to be, you know, within the people, our reaction. Not the fact that if they killed the man or not. You get what I'm saying? They're thinking about the wrong shit. If you ask me, I'm just saying, you know, and the sacral chakra, you know, it's where creativity and pleasure, that's the chakra for that. And, you know, they advertise a lot of things, and we are consumers. So if they're advertising certain things, because not everything make it into the media to be advertised, even though it's an invention, you know, because it's a process that you have to go through. But, you know, it's like, why do they advertise the way they do? You know, they'll use everyday living struggles, because, you know, every 10 years things got a whole lot more expensive, and they haven't even raised the cost of how much they pay people, you know, in years, you know. And so it's like people, you know, go through things, and they'll like put that inside the advertisement. They'll put that inside the advertisement, and they'll lead you something like, this is why you need this X, Y, and Z. You know, like, and it's very convincing at the moment, you know, because a lot of times people are at work so much, they don't have anything else to do. So it's like buying things, you know, just buying things is like retail therapy and things like that. And it helps some people. But that's a bad habit, but that's another video. But that's, you know, a gateway to guilt, because then it's like we're looking around and we're like, wow, you know, I don't like how this is happening in my life. I don't like where I'm at. And, you know, it make us feel like we should be doing something, or should have done something. And then we start to resent ourselves, you know, and self-love do not be coming into the equation, you know. It levels. I could get deep, but that's another video. It's a whole lot of videos I'm going to be making. Let me just put it that way. Okay, so guilt and blame. And also, like, blame the way that we live and how we have to survive. Like, it's going back to the root chakra, because it does affect more than one chakra, and just having to forgive yourself after you've healed and you know better, like actually conscious of what is really happening and what your actions are really doing for your life, if it's actually improving or not, just being able to forgive yourself when you put it all together is like it could keep us stuck if we don't work on it, and the chakra with happiness, solar plexus chakra, it's our happiness. And it's like you have to have a childhood to be introduced to happiness, to be able to have happiness in your adulthood. And it's like television, it's like it takes that away because everything on media is like the children are advanced, they're moving fast, and that is what's trending. So it's like this, it gets deep. Like, let me tell you, it gets deep, and it's like crazy because there's something we never really think that's important. That's how deep it is to actually have self-love. When you don't have self-love, you don't realize how important things are. You take it for granted. And it's like you just go through life and like, yeah, well, this is how it is. And you just keep doing the same things over and over and over again. Not realizing how important it is and how there's answers and ways that you can change your circumstances, and it's not easy, but you can, that is something that we actually take in consideration because it's hard, America was built on getting their way and bullying everybody, to make life easier. That was the whole point of slavery, because they were in a place where it was a lot of sun and it was just easier. It ain't that they couldn't do it because they had like hella clothes on in the fields doing it before when they had no choice. Let me put it that way. But then they came up with a method to, get other people to do it for them. And that's what happened, and that's how it started. And now we have people going out to war, taking resources and stuff from that side of the earth and where they lay their head at, so they can use it for some type of technology or something that they're building or something that they're doing, or because that place of the world that they don't want to, follow the leader, and so it's like they make war on these people. It's so many different things, and it's like we don't look at it as anything serious because we love to consume. We love the way we live, not realizing that it's destructive because of the way that it's happening. They have us thinking that they are the ones that brought civilization and that it never existed before they came. That's a religious mindset. That's a slave mentality because that's what they were teaching. That's something we have to really wake up to, the fact of. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there because at the end of the day, it's like we have to be honest with ourselves. If you want to love yourself, really and truly, you have to be honest with yourself. even the ugliest truth, the ones that you do not want to admit, like you really fumbled it. You know, you have to literally like look yourself in your face and be like, yeah, you know, have a sit down with yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Be honest with yourself. And if you can't, this is a good way to start. People that will tell you about yourself and you always feel criticized, start to embrace their opinion about you. The ones that you know might be right, not the ones that you know that's hating, because we know the difference. We act like we don't know the difference, but we know the difference. You understand what I'm saying? Embrace their opinion about you and see if you can't start to actually sit yourself down and be honest with yourself about what's going on with yourself. You know, I'm just saying this because I know I know I'm taking my own advice because this is words I live by. These is lessons that I've actually done for myself. And it's the easiest way that I know how to do it. All I could do is tell y'all what I know. I can't go and tell y'all nothing that is the experiment. I wouldn't do that. It's stuff that I know for sure that actually work, you know. And it's important to actually stay consistent with these things within yourself. You know, it's a journey. It's a process. This is how you work with yourself. Your higher self works with your lower self until your lower self reaches your higher self. And then you God body. That's how I look at it. Then you are your higher self. In the flesh, you know. That's how I look at it. But the potential, everyone has that potential. It's just a choice. And it's in a matter of clearing out past life debts, karmas, all of that. And it's a process. It's a process. But it's possible. And you want to get as much information as possible when you come and reincarnate back here. That's just how I see it, you know. That's my opinion. I'm just putting an opinion out there. Some people might say, oh, no, that's facts. And I'm like, well, look, I'm going to say opinion because it could go however way, you know. We co-create our own worlds. But, yeah, it's like crazy because they'll put out a whole lot of subliminals that will teach us that we have to, you know, cover things up that we do not want to be accountable for. You know, they show that in movies and stuff. And then turn around and be shocked when we actually, you know, do them things towards them, you know. And it blocks the throat chakra, you know, because it blocks, lies blocks the throat chakra. So it will make us not be able to express ourselves, you know. It's a silencer. It's silent but deadly. Okay? It's something that you won't think is important, but it is, you know. And it's just disguised as entertainment because it's television. Yeah, that's crazy, right? And what else did I do? Oh, the heart chakra is love and is blocked by grief. And, you know, whenever we are watching, like, whenever we're watching movies and stuff like that, and you have to pay for a subscription or rent movies or pay for cable and stuff like that. And money is currency, and currency could go both ways. It can go through some type of physical object or energy, so it works together though. When you buy something with money, you are using not only money in its expression, but also energy because of the act of buying such product, right? So it's like a whole lot of magic going on. It's like we actually buying into these things, and then when we buy into these companies, when it comes to television and stuff that we want to watch and stuff, it's like next thing you know, you're watching a movie, right? And it could have like some type of grief in it, or even over indulging in like a love endorphin, and next thing you know, you're just like drained in some type of way, and it's like not all movies, and it's not with all people, it just depends. Because if you're aware of this, then you could protect your energy, and you just see it differently, so that protects it as well. But just like watching it and not being aware, it's like you getting sucked into it, and it's like so simple, and it seems like make believe. That's the thing about magic. It doesn't seem real, That's how there's a whole negative narrative where they'll be like, oh, it's not real. God's not real. There's no such thing as any of those things, They could say that because it's like the average person that's not tapped in, is not going to have those experiences. They're not going to know. It's like, and even if they did, because I for some reason, I don't believe that they don't know. Because it's like, for me, it's hard to believe. I just feel like they ignore it. They just ignore it. And so, with that being said, it's like, it doesn't exist. Because you have to put your energy towards something for it to exist. You don't put your money towards it, energy towards it. My bad. It doesn't exist. Everyone's co-creating their own reality. The thing about life, I realize, is not to be right about everything and feel so superior to the point where you cannot be greeted by anyone, and I say that in a way like, back in the days, our ancestors, they had kings and queens in all different areas of the world, but whenever you come into someone's territory, if they have a welcoming celebration of some tradition, you have to abide by those rules. That's respect, No one was trying to overshadow anybody in their territory, You respect that there are other kings and queens, gods and goddesses, So I just feel like that's that, we should all just be respectful to, other people's perceptions, because it's not about being right. It's about being respected for your being, who you are. It's like, if you were to find a small child of a different ethnicity, and you're an empathetic person, you're a good person, you wouldn't treat that child bad if it's not treating you bad, normally. Because some people, even if the child treats you bad, you feel like it needs love and you're going to take it in. Anyway, like, I'm going to harass you for you to love me. But it's like, that you actually, like, look at the child as if it's like, something that needs to be loved. If it's loving you, that's a natural response, And that's the same thing with anything else. Just because a person has a different opinion about certain areas, like y'all don't always agree with everything, it doesn't mean that it's a problem. That's something I feel like our ancestors understood. They understood that. And it's something that has disappeared for the most part because of this whole, narcissism has got played out, but I love the word narcissism. So I'm going to just say it's like a lot of people has been put under a spell, they say, of narcissism, of course, of some type of agent-like qualities. That's what I'm going to say. So, yeah. It's a process, it's a whole process, but I feel like as long as we are aware of the fact that the media controls the way that we think by using a variety of things, as in, the things that we watch, the things that we are consuming within our mind, it's working with our chakras, because what you are feeding into your body is what's working, every action is a reaction. Like, you do something, there's going to be a reaction, so that's the reaction to consuming things, like things we watch, things we eat. You want to see it manifest in some kind of way, and that's the way that they still that way. They still energy. They are controlling, putting people under spells. It's all type of crazy things. And it's like, it don't work for us at the end of the day, because it's all against us. It's a population control, like I said before. And a lot of people is like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. Because like maybe they feel like these people are too powerful because they don't already got their chakra in a twist. Like, oh, well, they have all of this, X, Y, and Z. Have you seen the army and all of them things? And I'm like, you know what? All I know is that there is chance. And one thing I know is that narcissistic personalities, demons, whatever you want to call it, they do not pass up chance. And it just seems like chance has never came. Because if they really could, do what they wanted to do, things would be a whole lot different. But they only do what they were allowed to do, you know? So at the end of the day, you must ask yourself, like, exactly how much power do these people have over you? Nobody really thinks about that. They only think about the things that have happened and that these people have done. Think about all the stuff that they haven't done. You know? People always think about the terrible things in life, the most craziest things that happens in life. What about all the good things that happen? You know? You think people appreciate the good things that happen because things are so terrible sometimes. But it don't work like that. It don't work like that. It doesn't. And it's crazy that we think like that. You know. But I'm going to let y'all go ahead and finish the rest of y'all's day. I hope you all are drinking your water, saying your affirmations, meditating, you know, grounding yourself, you know, loving yourself, staying balanced. Peace and love.